Yin will be damned if Lord Yuri decide to ignore her orders and will not show up to the throne room. But when she and Midoriya finally arrived, she saw that Lord Yuri has complied. His wife, Lady Yuri, is present as well. The woman's all in tears, indicating that she heard the news. "What were you even thinking?" she shouted. "Shut it, woman. Do not question me right now," Lord Yuri hissed. Yin stared at him with disbelief. She kept her stare even when she stopped right at the center of the room, in front of Bakugo. The blonde sat on his throne and shifted his gaze to each of them. "What the hell is going on?" Bakugo started. Yin went straight to the point. "Your Majesty, Lord Yuri belongs to your court, but I would like to see him punished for defying my friend. I would like to ask you for permission for me to handle him, and you'll see it fit that he gets the composition of his actions." "Friend? I mean Uchaku Uraka. Are you saying this extra right here forced himself on Roundface? Did you see it yourself?" "Yes, I did." The blonde turned to Lord Yuri. "Is that true?" What happened next, Yin did not truly expect. It must be because of her anger was clouded, her mind, that she did not think of the possibility that Lord Yuri, being the sickened human that he is, will franticate lies to save himself. "It is certainly not true, Your Majesty." The Lord held a terrifying face, as if he is the victim of this current circumstance. He even squealed a few tears out of his eyes. "The part that Her Majesty caught me with the servant is true, but me forcing myself upon her, it is false." "What?" Yin muttered angrily, her fist clenched tightly. "That's a lie!" Midoriya yelled. Lord Yuri paid him no attention and continued his threatenings. "And that servant, I know Uchaku Uraka was a noble before, but she sank to the lowest position. I did not know she would be this desperate to climb her way back to the ranks. She lingered around me these past few days, seduced me. She bewitched me into taking her, Your Majesty," he cried. "I tried to resist, but she made it possible that we would be alone and took advantage of my frustrated state." "You scum! Are you really that sick to be spouting lies now, and blaming it all to the girl you victimize? How low can you get?" By now, Yin was raised her voice. "But it is true, Your Majesty. It is true." He cried more, and on the point, progressed successfulness is rising, Yin's boil point. "That is not true." "Your Majesty, please, believe me. Believe me." Seeing that it's no use with Lord Yuri as of now, she turned back to Bakugo. "It is lies he's telling. I have Midoriya here as a witness for what he did to Uraka." Before Bakugo could even speak, Lord Yuri's wailing voice interrupted them. "Your Majesty," he called for Bakugo. "I do not trust this. Izuku Midoriya is a friend of that servant, and I believe he will come to protect her and will completely degrade the truth that I'm speaking. He even assaulted me, Your Majesty, by the dirt marks on the back of my clothes and the wrinkles on my collar. Midoriya assaulted me on the ground." "What?" Midoriya went startled. Yin saw Midoriya's fist ball and it shook. She thinks that Midoriya is probably thinking that he should be punched Lord Yuri earlier because his self-control back there was all for naught, as the Lord Yuri found anything way to execute him. Then Lord Yuri continued, "I understand that Your Majesty is angry for the servant was the one serving her, and I didn't really know that she considers the servant her friend. But Her Majesty must know that she really has no claim towards Uraka, as she is only a servant, not for her majesty alone, but a servant for this castle. Her claim would be more effective if Uraka is her lady-in-waiting." That made Yin stop as she realized that indeed it was true. Uraka is not just her servant. She's actually working for the whole palace, but still, she considers her her friend, so she won't give in to that. "Even so, I can't just let this pass. You assaulted my friend, and now you're lying just to save yourself." There it is again. Lord Yuri's crying face appeared, and this time he walked to Yin and yelled, "Your Majesty, you must believe me. What I'm saying is all true." "That is true." He reached up to grip her dress, but Yin stepped back, and Midoriya stood beside her. "Don't touch her with your filthy hands." On cue, Lord Yuri flinched and held his arms up, then started to back away from Midoriya. Yin watched in anger at how good he displayed his act. I'm sorry. She is so enraged that she did not notice her palms have glowed red. She was ready to take a step forward to Lord Yuri and tell him to own up to his lies. But Bakugo's voice reverberated, and she was suddenly beside Yin. "Stop," he said, keeping an eye on Yin's hand. There, the woman noticed that she was about to do, and decided to back down. The glow of her hands faded. "You extras better stop before you all start killing each other." "And this coming from me," he uttered. "It really wasn't me, Your Majesty. It was her. It was the servant." Lord Yuri started wailing again. "You bastard," Midoriya sneered. Before another fight could ensue, Bakugo stepped up again. "I will end this right here and now. You lot are a mess. This extra right here," he said, pointing to Lord Yuri, "claims that Roundface seduced him." Then he turned to Yin and Midoriya. "And you two are saying it's not true and that he really is a horny bastard who forced his way on Roundface." "Your Majesty, you must believe—" Midoriya started out, but Bakugo cut him off. "Let me finish, Deku. We won't go anywhere if all of you claim that different truths. I don't really care about all this or Roundface, but you extras are making it difficult." That made Yin and Midoriya glare at him, but the blonde wasn't fazed at the fact that he's just offered them both. He then said, "Here's what we're going to do to settle this shit." Everyone in the room went silent. Despite the thick, intense atmosphere, they all listened to Bakugo. "You come back here and complain to me again if you show me concrete proof that what happened here really happened," he started. "This extra right here better show me that Roundface bewitched him or whatsoever. Also, you two better give me something that tells he really assaulted your friend." Yin watched as Midoriya was yet again ready to argue, maybe to say something about him being the witness, but that has proven to be invalid when Lord Yuri accused him of manhandling a lord earlier. She sighed and rested a hand on Midoriya. Then the scholar met her eyes. Yin made sure to stare at him sternly, trying to say that for her not to say they should think of something. Midoriya looked down but contemplated. When Yin turned to Lord Yuri, he still has his pity face on, but it was obvious to her that underneath all of that is a malicious grin, as if he's telling him he already won. "You're all dismissed." Bakugo's voice reverberated. Lord Yuri and his wife went off first, while Yin and Midoriya remained, unsatisfied of how this has turned out. "Your Majesty, this isn't over yet, Midoriya. I swear I will do something." Midoriya nodded. A hopeless and tired expression rested on his face as he bowed and excused himself. "You look like you were ready to turn that man into ashes," Bakugo said as he appeared beside Yin. "That I am." "That would be ugly, but it would be a fucking delight." Yin turned to him, brows furrowed at this comment. What? That bastard is a disgusting pig. But he knew his way through a good life in the court. Even if it's through unfair means, that's how much of a dick he is, he said. You hate him too, but why didn't you punish him earlier? The blonde turned to her. It's not my problem, Sparkles. It's yours. You can figure it out, and besides, I already told you what to do. So you'll make sure he'll get what he deserves. You're stubborn like that. Without saying another word, Bakugo started to walk and exit the throne room, leaving Yin confused. Did he really just help her back there? And compliment her? It felt so weird for Yin, but she hadn't gotten time to dwell with that. For now, she has to make sure that by tomorrow, she will have a solution to her problem. And oh boy, she'll get it. Oopsie, I lied. Will Lord Yuri ever get punishment? Or will he just be scot-free? Who knows? He'll have to find out, but I already know. I'll give you hints. In the comments, of course. Teehee. Bye. I love you all so much. Mwah.